Hi. If you've been with my channel for any length of time, you may know how much I adore my Hourglass powders. I often say they put magic dust in their powders, and I absolutely love skin tints. So of course I had to try the new Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint. You know, my 2-week visit with my cousins in upstate New York has turned into a month plus, and for the first time in my life I actually underpacked makeup. I found myself missing a little bit of variety, so I did a little mini Sephora haul. Of course, I picked up the skin tint. I also picked up a cream bronzer by Tower 28, and I found a mini of the Westman Atelier cream blush. But today's video is primarily a review of the Hourglass skin tint. So if you are excited to see how the Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint works on my 63-year-old very dry skin, throw this video a thumbs up and let's get into it. For reference, let me tell you a little bit about my skin and my complexion product preferences. Like I said earlier, my 63-year-old skin is really quite dry, extremely dry in the winter months, still dry but closer to normal in the summer months. I have the usual lines and wrinkles, but I do not have particularly enlarged pores. I do have occasional dry patches, which does give my skin some texture. As far as complexion products, matte complexion products just tend to suck the life out of my skin, so I really do prefer a radiant, glowy finish. I do have several medium cover foundations that I very much enjoy, but on a day-to-day basis, I really do lean quite heavily on skin tints and tinted moisturizers, and that is one reason I am so excited to try the Hourglass. Anyway, the Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint runs $49 for 1.1 ounce. Not super luxury like Chantecaille or Clé de Peau, but definitely on the pricey side, similar in price to, for instance, Charlotte Tilbury, Bobbi Brown, or Laura Mercier. Here are the claims. A lightweight skin tint that instantly boosts skin's moisture levels by 52%. That is a very specific and interesting number. Provides all-day hydration for a dewy, healthy-looking glow. This formula melts instantly into the skin, providing comfortable all-day wear and a sheer veil of coverage to diffuse imperfections and even skin tone while visibly plumping and smoothing the complexion. Key ingredients include meadow foam seed oil to strengthen the moisture barrier, hyaluronic acid, of course, to plump the skin with hydration, plant-based squalane to protect against moisture loss, and naturally derived rambutan blend to boost moisture and hydration over time. This is also vegan, cruelty-free, fragrance-free, essential oil-free, does not contain any SPF, which is totally okay with me, and no drying alcohol. This comes in 18 shades, which is pretty good for a skin tint. Skin tints do tend to be a little bit more flexible in their shades due to the lighter coverage. As far as undertones, Hourglass does not offer a neutral undertone in the light to the light medium range. So I ordered shade 6, light with cool undertones. This is just a tad light for my summer skin. I can warm it up with a little bronzer, but I think this shade is going to be perfect for my winter skin. Comes in a squeezy tube, and let me show you the texture. Not too thin, not too thick. The consistency is a beautiful, silky, creamy texture. It feels more like skincare than makeup. Now, I have been playing with this product for the past several days, so this is not a first impression. I have found that fingers or sponge application and blending really didn't work for me. Way too sheer, and with fingers and a sponge I couldn't get any coverage at all. So my preferred method of application is with a brush. I did my morning skincare and applied my SPF about a half an hour ago. Today I used my DRMTLGY Broad Spectrum SPF 45. I really do enjoy using this when I am testing new complexion products because it is untinted with a really nice satin finish so as not to interfere with the coverage or the finish of the Complexion product. So let's get this on my face. Give it a good shake and squeezing, I don't know, about that much out. Picking it up with my e.l.f. Putty Primer Applicator brush. This is the only foundation brush I brought with me. Like I said, I sort of underpacked. And I am going to put it on one side of my face so you can see the difference in coverage. Very sheer. It really is a very sheer, but I can build it up to light coverage with a brush. Look how fast and easy that blends. Actually, I do think this shade is pretty good. It matches my neck, but it is quite a bit lighter than my body skin. And I always like to finish with a sponge just to make sure everything is blended seamlessly into my skin. All right, this is the side with the skin tint. No skin tint. I think you can see I did get a very solid light coverage, enough to take the redness away, even my skin tone out, soften some of my sunspots, but not completely cover them up. Let me get it on the other side of my face. Do you see that? All right, skin tint is on. I am going to warm up my face with a little bit of the Tower 28 Cream Bronzer. This is in the shade Broad. Has a really nice silky texture. There is the shade Broad. I think it's the second to the lightest or the lightest. And I really like that this does have a little bit of warmth without looking too orangey. I'm going to use my REPHR 05. I believe this is my 05. Just pick up a little bit of bronzer, tamp it off on my skin so I don't get overboard, and let's just warm up the face. That is a really nice, not overpowering, very lightly warm bronzer. Bronzer is done. Let's go in with a little bit of blush. I was super happy to find a little mini of the Westman Atelier cream blush. This is in the shade Petal, and it is a really nice, slightly warm, very dusty rose. Super excited to try this. Let me clean this brush off. This is the only, really didn't bring very many brushes with me, so I'm going to clean my brush off. And again, pick up a little bit of blush with this REPHR, tamp it off a little bit, and let's get a little bit of blush. Oh, that's really, really pretty. Just sort of a nice, warm, dusty rose. I guess I am sort of going for a sun-kissed look today. All right, complexion products are done. Now my skin is still feeling a bit tacky, so I am going to give this a few minutes to dry down and set. I will finish my makeup off camera, and then I will come back with some final thoughts. So here is the finished look compared to no makeup. to offset some of the fairly pricey makeup in today's video, I used my most affordable eyeshadow palette, my Wet n Wild Always Naked. And I used these 3 shades to achieve sort of a nice, dare I say, latte eyeshadow look. Anyway, I will list all of the products I used on my face in the description box below, as usual. Getting back to the tint. Now, the Hourglass tint did feel tacky on my skin for about 10 or 15 minutes. I would not describe this as weightless. Even after it set down, it left me with a very protected, cushy, moisturized feeling, which I actually enjoy. I feel like I got a solid light coverage with a brush. There is a definite radiant glow, but it is not metallic or greasy looking. I did very lightly set it with my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Finishing Powder in the shade Diffuse Light. This did a nice job setting it without taking away the glow. Like I said earlier, I have been playing with this for several days, and I do agree with the claims. I really love how healthy, plump, and smooth my skin is looking, yet it is virtually undetectable. It never settles into lines, it never accentuates any dry patches. It truly is my skin, but much, much better. Great for a no makeup day, yet it holds its own with a full face of makeup. And it is surprisingly long lasting, especially for a skin tint. It wears off very gradually and gracefully without looking weird or cakey or patchy. I have tried quite a few skin tints and tinted moisturizers over the years because skin tints are sort of my everyday go-to. I will link a couple of videos below where I reviewed and ranked a variety of skin tints. For comparison, the Hourglass tint is what I wanted the ZIIP tint to be. The slip tint has a much more sheer coverage, a much shinier, almost greasy finish, and the ZIIP tint disappeared off my skin almost immediately. I will link my recent ZIIP tint review in the description box below. Comparing this to some of my favorite skin tints, such as my Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator and my Tarte Maracuja Tinted Moisturizer. Now, both of those products offer more coverage, much closer to medium, and they're also much less glowy. They have more, almost a matte, a very satin skin-like finish. So I do think that the Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint will find a solid place in my skin tint wardrobe with its light, natural coverage and its beautiful radiance. And I think I'm going to love it even more in the winter when my skin is extra, extra dry. Final thought. Definitely a thumbs up for me, and now I want to try even more Hourglass products. If you enjoyed this video and would like to keep watching, YouTube will be showing another one of my videos up next. But if you do have to go, have yourself a great day, a wonderful week, and I hope to see you in my video next Sunday. Thank you. Bye.